Hello and welcome to the Hardison Cochran podcast. Today, workers' comp lawyer Ben Cochran is going to answer probably the most common workers' comp question that is typed into Google and we get at the firm. And that is, how much does workers' comp pay when you're out of work for an injury? Now, Ben Cochran.
When you're injured on the job in North Carolina and you are rendered to be totally disabled by a physician, or if you are receive restrictions that make it unable for you to return back to your job, then you will be entitled to what's called temporary total disability benefits. Those are essentially lost wages. In North Carolina, there are several different ways that your temporary total disability, that amount that you receive from the insurance company, can be calculated. And these are constructed in the statutes of North Carolina. The most predominantly used calculation is 52 weeks of your prior earnings. So what the insurance company does is they receive your payroll history information for 52 weeks prior to your date of injury. They take that amount of wages, divide it by 52 to come up with your average weekly wage. Once you determine your average weekly wage, they determine what's called your compensation rate. The compensation rate is going to be a number that's utilized in many areas of your workers' compensation claim. So it's a very important calculation to make sure that it's correct. In order to determine the compensation rate, you take your average weekly wage and you multiply it by 2/3. 2/3 of your wages is what you will receive in temporary total disability benefits. And as I said, the compensation rate is used for other different avenues throughout the course of your claim. It may also be used to determine your permanent partial disability settlement as a result of your injury if you are able to return back to work.
Listening to this podcast does not create an attorney-client relationship between you and Hardison Cochran Attorneys at Law. Hardison Cochran does not accept new clients without first obtaining a signed agreement. The information shared in this podcast is for information purposes and should not be intended or taken as legal advice as to yours or anyone else's legal matter. If you have a legal matter, contact an attorney about your specific set of circumstances.